I've gained weight in those 25 years, so congratulations to you at least.
Larry, this is Lehigh's 80th year of wrestling, and do you think we're due for a turnaround?
We need a turnaround, Shell. I think it's a case of it has to happen. I feel that listening to Tom speak to you earlier, there's no question about the fact that the team's young, and they've got to really move in the direction that has been given them by the alumni and friends of wrestling. They want to see the tradition continue, and they want to see it improve. So I feel this is the year they've got to turn it.
Lehigh's all-time wrestling record, Larry, is something like 575 wins, 274 losses. The important thing is it's better than a 2-to-1 ratio, but that's been a ratio that Lehigh hasn't enjoyed for the last several years. How do you think that statistic's going to turn out this year? You think Lehigh will win 2 out of every 3 they wrestle?
I'm looking at that schedule, Shell, and a lot of the bouts are going to come with these so-called quads. And I don't know if these young kids, and they are young, as Tom pointed out, freshmen, can take a quad where they're wrestling 3 matches in one day. And so that's going to be a wearing effect that in time may cause losses to teams with more experienced wrestlers on their squad. So, no, I don't. If Lehigh pulls out a 500 season, I'll be very happy.
I know we all will be very happy because I think it will really mark a turnaround. And Larry, on behalf of everybody at Channel 39, we want to thank you for 23 great seasons of providing the best commentary that college wrestling can offer, and we want to publicly thank you. We don't want to embarrass you up there. We don't want to swell your head too much, but we thank you for everything you've done for us all these many years.
Well, I enjoy the nice comments, so thank you, and I appreciate it very much. And working with your gang is a pleasure, Shelley. Your camera crew. I watch other sporting events, and believe me, with the graphics and the replays and all the camera angles, it's such a simple job to relate to the audience what's happening.
Well, we look forward to another great season, and we ask you to stand by because we're about to kick off Lehigh University Wrestling for the 92-93 season. Stay with us.
Don't miss First Monday this month from La Belle Cuisine in Allentown. Lark is celebrating its 25th anniversary. We'll see what's going on. Also, the Lehigh Valley Pipe Band, the Rhododendron Society, and see how Lehigh County uses its recycling program to help pay back crime victims. Don't miss it.
Celebrate planet Earth with Placido Domingo, Jeremy Irons, Wynton Marsalis, Denise Graves, Gal Costa, and Antonio Carlos Jobim, and Sarah Chang. From Rio de Janeiro, Placido Domingo and the Concert for Planet Earth. Next time on Great Performances.
Hello, I'm Lainey Kazan. Hanukkah is a time for celebration. It's a festive occasion, a time for family and friends.
Whoever's been... Welcome you back to Grace Hall here in the campus of Lehigh University as part of the Lehigh University Marching Band strikes up below. And we are all set to bring you, for the 24th consecutive season, Channel 39 coverage of Lehigh University Wrestling. This is Shel Siegel along with Larry Sheridan and Marv Walensik, all set to bring you all the action, color, and thrills of the best in college wrestling. And now we are ready to start at 118 pounds for Seton Hall. Anthony Gencarelli on the mat for Seton Hall Pirates, and for Lehigh University at 118, David Hardwick. The official on the mat is Mark Piven, and now the voice of Lehigh Wrestling for 24 consecutive seasons, Larry Sheridan. Larry?
Well, Shell, there's a lot of people that say Seton Hall is a great basketball team and a school noted for basketball, but you're going to see some great wrestling tonight coming out of this team out of South Orange, New Jersey. They're tough. They've made a concentration on putting together a great wrestling team in the last 2-3 years, and a lot of people are saying, oh, Seton Hall this, Seton Hall that. Well, we'll see how it is when we get to the 275-pound weight class.
And it's already 2-1 with Gencarelli getting the takedown and Hardwick getting the escape. Just underway.
Gencarelli out of Little Falls, New Jersey, went to Passaic Valley High School. Dave Hardwick is a freshman. So is Gencarelli a freshman. 2 freshmen going at it. One from Valley Central in Montgomery, New York. Hometown is David Hardwick.
Move in the middle.
The official on the mat is Mark Pivot.
Senior member of the prestigious wrestling group. He's been at it, I think, 30-plus years.
Larry, the interesting thing is that Hardwick won the New York State Championship in his junior year at 91 pounds.
He's a light 118. I don't think he has much trouble making weight, somewhat like Lehigh's Bobby Weaver. Nice power roll, puts Lehigh wrestler right to his back, and definitely going to get a lot of points. We got a minute and a half to go, and we'll pick up a 2 on the takedown and 3-point near fall. Now jumps out 7-1. Jen Corelli of Little Falls, New Jersey. Putting a half in there, my favorite hold. Half Nelson body press with a minute 08 to go. Now pressing down.
He worked that elbow up, Larry.
Yeah, well, he went up on his knees, and I think Coach Al Reynoso will remind him, when you put a body press in, get off your knees and put the pressure on your chest, and the weight goes down.
Jen Corelli hasn't wasted a lot of time. We'll look at that on replay, Larry.
Nice fireman's carry. Really just ducks under, takes it from there, follows it up to the head, works into a body press, picks up 3.
And he's wrestled 2 minutes, and he's got 10 points on the board, leading 10-2.
Larry, I think you were absolutely right when you talked about this Seton Hall team. The Seton Hall team is a very substantial wrestling team. I saw them at the Coast Guard Invitational Tournament last year, and they won some championships, and they're obviously, as you said, serious about it. And they are recruiting. If you look at their rosters, they're recruiting substantially in New Jersey, but they've got 2 Oklahoma wrestlers wrestling for them tonight.
There's a duck under, takes the single, just goes around and makes it an easy 2 points, adds it up to 12-2, and we may get out of here with a technical because he's got 10 of the 15 he needs right now.
Totally in control in the mat. Tony Gencarelli, a freshman, went to Passaic Valley High School in Little Falls, New Jersey.
See, Gencarelli is physically bigger and stronger than Hardwick is, and he's making use of that as it goes to 12-3.
So, Larry, that really was a out of the chute opening as we take a look at head coach Al Reynoso, who has brought the Seton Hall team in very quickly to 12-3 lead.
Well, we have a band here with us this year, which is a new addition to Lehigh Wrestling here in Grace Hall. But the population tonight is not heavy.
No, it looks like a 500 crowd. Again, in score 12-4. We got nowhere. We go back down.
See, Hardwick's getting a little smarter about that now. As he comes off that quarter wing, he's keeping his weight back further. He's not going to let Gencarelli dive in and get that quick leg.
Well, Seton Hall, I know in the one meet that I was aware of was Columbia, where they knocked Columbia 22-7. But they've got some real tough kids at 50, Burke and Curcio at 58. And I feel that there's no question that Gencarelli's tough, but I'm looking ahead at a stronger weight class. And Lehigh's going to have to bring its veterans with Cuck, McCumber, Byrne, and Cassidy into the match to give Lehigh the lead, because one thing Lehigh doesn't have is our favorite heavyweight anchoring the top of the class at this time.
Now, it's a nostalgic tear for Big John Morris.
That's right. You could always count on John to win. We don't have that luxury anymore. So 90 and 275-pound class are questionable, and without that kind of punch, you have to make your money in the middle. And
Larry, there was a wasted move by Gencarelli. He had 2 and didn't take his money. He wouldn't pull that leg, put the head in to the side, face his cheek in, and take him down. So he gave up 2 there, which is a break for Lehigh. It's 12-4 with a minute 10 riding time. Favor of Gencarelli from the Seton Hall Pirates in the blue. Little duck under.
Same move he pulled before, and he's going to pull it again. But he's spread back now, and the kid go around for Lehigh. Left his head in a bad position, and he can get cradled, and he did. And right to his back.
Exactly as you called it, Larry.
Yeah.
He's flat.
And it's a pin. 50, and that's a 6-0 lead. And it was a nice move. The kid left his head vulnerable, and when he took it, he said, hey, I like this situation. Let's move it into a cradle. and we'll say sayonara. And watch it. He goes around. Now he thinks he's got something. There's the head. And watch it. Boom. He just goes around the back. And it's, from that point, it's a matter of both shoulders for 1 second. He locks it up. And there it is. It's a good night.
Gencarelli, a tough little freshman.
Okay, coming out now, we've had
on the mat for Seton Hall is Casey Washer, a freshman from Bloomingdale, New Jersey, and his opponent is Tom Cook for Lehigh University. And Cook getting a quick 2 points.
You look to Tom Cook, the junior from Saucon Valley High School this year for a big year for Lehigh. He can be an explosive wrestler, and he's working very hard here right now to get some of these points back.
Well, the pin is the ultimate objective, and we're throwing another freshman in there out of Bloomingdale, New Jersey, going against Cook, who's experienced and was a place winner in the Easterns last year. Tom's a junior from Hellertown. This is a borough of Hellertown, the southeast corner of Bethlehem. 2 minutes left, first period. 2-1 to score. Sorry I don't have a complete roster on all these wrestlers. There's the combination that could lead into a cradle, but Cook just slowly goes around the back and picks up the 2 points and leads 4-1. I called down to the SID office at Seton Hall 2 weeks ago. Marv was promised delivery of a lot of information and closed my eyes, and that's what I got.
You would have gotten it sooner, Larry, if you could bounce that information up and down like a ball.
Well, if
these guys are doing a great job with this wrestling program, it's going to catch on there.
Well, I'm particularly sensitive to a lot of the kids from Jersey, and I know their parents will be watching it in the Channel 39 area, and they'll be saying, you know, they don't know what we're talking about. Well, call the SID office at Seton Hall and ask them why they didn't send the information, and there's the takedown. 1 minute left in the first period. Lehigh's Cook still leading 4-1.
The noise you hear in the background is the drum beat of the Lehigh band that's on hand here tonight. They're pounding away for Tom Cook, who is 50
no
seconds
takedown
to
on
go.
that play. They rule that the other wrestlers still had control, so we are still at a 4-1 score with 50 seconds to go in the second period. Seton Hall leading Lehigh by a score of 6-0 as Tom Cook tries to put Lehigh on the board. He's got 1:16 in riding time and a 4-1 lead.
Marv, later on, in fact, when we have a chance, we ought to talk about some of the new rules that came into effect this year. And one of them, the fans won't recognize. It's administrative to some degree, but it's also key. There's an attempt by the Seton Hall wrestler to gain a takedown, but it's clamped by Lehigh's Cook, but he goes around the back, and we're back into a neutral, same on neutral position with 20 seconds left.
Cook is the more experienced wrestler. He, of course, a junior. Washer is a freshman.
Cook counter with a good whizzer, faced him, came around to the front, and got out of a possible troublesome position. Good job by Tommy Cook.
I'll talk about those changes shortly.
Time running out, and the period ends with a 4-2 lead for Tom Cook. And now let's go down to Mike Caruso and his special guest, Solomon Fleckman. Mike?
Shell, I've got a familiar face here in an unfamiliar uniform. Last year's All-American and Captain Solomon Fleckman. What a difference a year makes, Solomon. What are you doing now?
Well, right now I'm an intern with Ron Tico in the sports marketing department here at Lehigh University. Basically, I work on promotions and things for all the athletic events here at Lehigh, like the band here at Lehigh and our new arm bar, our featured ice cream treat for Lehigh Wrestling.
Good. We'll be seeing a lot more of you this year, and good luck in your new career. Thank you.
Cook gains an escape. It's now 5-2. We'll get into the arm bar later. But I was trying to get at least one of the many new rules that come out this year. One of this, when you flip the coin now at the start of the meet, and then everybody knew that that was a choice that every other bout you would have your choice of top or bottom or defer. One other little element comes in. It's that whoever wins the toss has to be on the mat first. So whereas before the home team always had to put his man on the mat first, it's now a situation where they alternate. So the flip of the coin makes the determination of who steps out on the mat first. Obviously, if you choose even bouts, you will get the choice on the evens to pick top or bottom, but you also have to step on the mat first.
Cook's got a lot of time to work this, but he loses it. Trying to push his man over, leads 7-2, 50 seconds to go in the second period.
Cuck grinding against the younger wrestler and working high on that arm now. He's trying to get into position to turn him. That's a dangerous spot right there.
Right, that's a good place to do it, right there. He's above the elbow, he's in good shape. He could crank it, but he's up. There it is. Yes and no.
He just slipped off it, Larry, but he had it in a dangerous position. He could have, if he'd have been able to sink it through, he could have pinned him. He's looking for the bow, Larry.
Oh, my favorite, which I detest. Well, I think Tom can wear his opponent down, and I feel that in this situation, Casey Washer down 7-2 is starting to look a little tired at the same time.
And the period ends in a 7-2 lead for Tom Cook of Lehigh University as he tries to get Lehigh in the scoring column. The Engineers trailing by a score of 6-0. Mark Piven is the official on the mat as we take a look at Tom Cook.
You know, Shell, the head coach, Al Reynoso, at Villanova never did wrestle. I mean, from Villanova, was never a wrestler. He was a football player. But he's come in here, and I guess, like we've always said, you need a good motivator when you get at this level, and he's motivating them.
Cook gives away the point on the escape, making it 7-3. Still has a riding time point just about assured, so ostensibly at this point he is ahead by 5. Would certainly like to cash in some premium points here if he can do it. Comes around the back, it's got 2. 9-3. Gives up the point, 9-4.
I think he can, as long as Washer takes those long-range shots, it's easy too. And I think Cuck can keep letting him up and taking him down and put 4 or 5 on the board here. He wants that bow, though.
Well, I think he's been toying with it, but I don't... He's got the... Now it becomes dangerous.
Piven watching it closely, and he's got count.
Now he could drive forward with that, because I really think the young freshman, Casey Washer, is tired. And to really take advantage of the situation now. 14-5 plus guaranteed point for time with 45 seconds remaining.
Almost a fall there, Larry. He rolled him to his back.
There he got
him on the head. I think he has him.
There it is. High score, 6-6.
Great job by Tommy Cox.
Well, you can slowly see Washer getting tired, and any combination would put him out.
I was impressed. Tommy Cox came out aggressively. Look at this, Larry.
Great sister, reach up for that under the head, over the head. There it is. And that's it. Almost a same combination of chancery that Solomon Fleckman says there's no longer such thing.
And now let's go down to Mike Caruso, Matt's side. Michael?
I'm down here with Seton Hall's Anthony Giancarelli, who had a fall in the 118-pound bout. It's pretty exciting to come up to a school like Lehigh and wrestle.
Yeah, I was really nervous, but coach kept me in tune, guys kept me in tune. It was big for me to win, you know. I came out there, the kid was a freshman. I went out there, I did my best, and that's what counts.
Okay. Great job. Nice to have you here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Michael. I believe we're now at 134 with Wade Rogers on the mat for Seton Hall, being opposed by John McCumber of Lehigh. McCumber is a junior from Rossford, Ohio. And Wade Rogers, originally weighed in at 126, has moved up a weight. He's a sophomore from Edmond, Oklahoma.
And there's that cradle right there. Bang, hit it and put it together. Now he lost it. He had his makings. Got the knee up into the head area, but the leverage and lankiness of this wrestler from Oklahoma, saves the day. McCumber up underneath, takes the single, pulls him back and gets the 2 because the feet are inside.
Well, Larry, I remember last year we waited quite a few matches before Lehigh's first fall. I can't remember when in the dual season it happened.
When did we have 2 falls back-to-back by opposing teams?
That's correct.
One by each, long time. But McCumber is a guy this year.
There's that half combination.
I look for a big season from John McCumber this year. He's got the capacity now. He's a junior. He's been through the wars. And he's going to be tough. And he's looking for a fall right here. He's in that rib cradle, Larry, and he's going to turn him.
He's got it joined up. Got to run him around a few times. There it is, a slow run.
Got a lot of time.
Well, you get too high in these things, you lose everything, including position. You end up in the bottom.
And he is heading for the brown. And he does manage to get out. 2 points. But it could have been a lot worse.
He's tired.
There you see 2 of the great gentlemen of Lehigh University sport. On your left, Jack Foley, Director of Sports Medicine, and Dr. Emil DiOrio, who is the Lehigh team physician.
Wrestler a little tired in that sequence. We have Coach Al Reynoso looking over the situation.
Lehigh, of course, in excellent shape every season, and much of it, of course, attributed to the 2 fine gentlemen, Jack Foley and Emil DiOrio, who come to all the Lehigh University matches and do a superb job. And we once again welcome them into Lehigh's 1992-93 sports season.
Emil DiOrio is a centerfold in the Atlantic Monthly.
Yeah, I saw that. And he really looked very handsome this month in that edition.
Seton Hall Pirate wrestler Wade Rogers stands up, gains an escape, and puts his first point on the board, 4-1. Now in favor of the Lehigh's McCumber.
Yeah, McCumber's a seasoned wrestler now, though, Larry. This is going to be a different man this year. He's an excellent wrestler.
And Marv, the other major change, and there's not a lot of changes that you will see physically. But we talked about flipping the coin now means more than a choice of position. It means you got to come out on the mat first also. But the other change is there's no longer any draws. If the match ends in a tie, you go sudden death. McCumber in rather clumsily, got too deep and was whipped out of position. 4-3 now.
Yeah, I was surprised at that. That was just a little error on John David's part. And take advantage taken here.
You mean there just cannot be any more ties?
There's no more ties.
No more ties. I mean, and they just wrestled first point, does it?
No. Well, yeah, it's essentially sudden death, and then if you don't do anything in that 2-minute extra time slot, they have a what they call a tiebreaker, which goes to that 15-second routine, total of 30 seconds.
So first they'll wrestle 2 minutes.
Right.
And if no one wins,
you go to a tiebreaker.
See, on that takedown, Larry,
30 seconds.
McCumber just slipped, I think. His foot came out from under him. He lost because he was in nicely. He had the duck under.
Sweep.
Head was up, yep.
So sometimes we're all glad to see a match end in a tie because we want to get it over with, like a 1-1 bout or a 0-0. And unfortunately, those are going to be extended.
Well, how long do those 30-second pieces go?
Well, you
just continually go until somebody gets one?
No. If you hold them down, you're the winner. I mean, you flip a coin, just like in high school. Flip the coin, you choose top or bottom. If you hold him down, you're the winner. If he escapes, he's the winner.
See Dr. Peter Likens, president of Lehigh University here, as he attends many of Lehigh's home matches, and very pleased with the fact Lehigh came back to win that second one. Seems to me, Larry, then if you do get into that first 30-second segment, there would be a rather major advantage to having the advantage position. You just have to hold your man down for 30 and you got it.
Well, the NCAA started looking into this overtime situation, and they are making a calculation as to where does the advantage lie. Is it in picking top or picking bottom. McCumber's in a good chance to come through with more than one if he gets his head out.
He's got to get the arm free also, Larry. See,
I would think a lot of that might have to do with the weight, Larry. Once you get into the 275s, if you were on the top, you pretty much can sit on the guy.
This could be a stalemate. It is.
Rogers had that back wrist hooked, and then he had it under his chin. He held him in there with it because Rogers was in a disadvantaged position there.
Al Reynoso, head coach, Seton Hall. His team tied at 6 with Lehigh here in the third bout.
I think he
at
was
134.
At Villanova with Tom McHale. He's trying to get around again, and again that length just keeps that situation at bay, but now it's 6-3. Time advantage is about even. 1:10 remaining second period.
McCumber looks much better on his feet.
Except I think Rogers, with that length, that he's just tying up his wrist. If you can see, he's just grabbing and blocking. Well, there's, if he pushes, he's got it.
McCumber's sitting in, but Rogers came around front right at the right moment.
Yeah.
Faced him just at the right moment because McCumber had another takedown there.
There you see Tom Hutchison and Sergei Kagazov, and son, I believe, to Sergei's right, acting as the assistant to the assistant coach.
From a safety, Marv, earlier tonight we measured the distance of the shortest distance on the mat between the white and the out of bounds, between the circle and out of bounds, and at Lehigh's is in compliance. It's 5 foot 4 inches. The minimum is 5 feet, and if it's less than 5, the home team must provide a safety cushion or another mat there.
Side mats?
Yeah, you must have them. It must be 5 feet, and I've seen areas where it's not 5. So that's in violation of the new rule.
Question, will there be any takedown here as we're down under 5 seconds?
No, they'll lay it
locked
out.
up.
They're going to lay it off now and wait.
Period ends, and it's still a 6-3 lead for John McCumber of Lehigh. We are tied at 6-6, Lehigh and Seton Hall.
First match between Lehigh and Seton Hall.
There are going to be a lot of first matches between Seton Hall and teams because this is a very embryonic program.
Actually, it's in their third year of being aggressive, but it takes a while to develop all of that. And they've had the sport at Seton Hall for a while, but it's never been a major sport. And they're obviously got the basketball competition to contend with.
Well, they make so much money in basketball, they've thrown some of it off to wrestling scholarships.
McCumber's in a bad situation if he stays there too long. He get rocked back in a cradle.
And I think...
he's got his head up, Larry, and his head and hips are up at the lock.
If that guy goes the other way with it, if he does the famous Thad Turner roll over your back, he's got a 4-pointer.
He's got the 2 there.
Well,
6'5".
and for a guy that was ahead one time 4-0, he's only ahead by 1. Time advantage won't be a factor to my calculations. So this lanky Oklahoma boy is now going to use the legs.
Looking for that tilt, isn't he, Larry?
Yeah. Going up on the high bar.
McCumber better watch her. He could get called for stalling trying to sit on the bottom here. We'll see.
Oh, now he's got the Pat Santoro, half Nelson, and far wrist. That could be wicked.
McCumber head up, trying to get to his base to break from this. There he rolled through with it, but McCumber rolled with him. John David now holding on, 35 seconds to go. Looking for an opportunity to duck out for a quick point. There's no riding time.
I think Piven has been very patient here, Larry, with McCumber. He has not called any warning. There has been movement, but not a lot by McCumber on the bottom.
Well, I don't think he can move into that situation when you put that kind of arm bar. Yeah, you get potentially dangerous.
Well, now McCumber's got to watch that he doesn't just get taken down. If he gets taken down, he's going to lose.
They're on the.
Oh, they're still in the bottom.
Yeah.
They're going to just start all over again.
But he's got. If he steps out, this kid's going to cradle him. He's got that length.
Now he put those legs together to block those legs from coming in. He was looking legs. I think it was poor strategy by the wrestler Rogers because he could have let him up and taken him down to tie the match.
That's
that was
what I
his
think.
best
But
move.
anyway, McCumber is going to win it by the skin of his teeth, 6-5. An excellent performance by Wade Rogers, who came from a 4-point deficit to nearly pull it out.
Yeah, he ended up with more time advantage, but he was about 30 seconds short.
We'll be back with continuing coverage of Lehigh Seton Hall Wrestling in just a moment.
Don't miss First Monday this month from La Belle Cuisine in Allentown. Lark is celebrating its 25th anniversary. We'll see what's going on. Also, the Lehigh Valley Pipe Band, the Rhododendron Society, and see how Lehigh County uses its recycling program to help pay back crime victims. Don't miss it.
Celebrate the holidays in grand style as Carnegie Hall rings out with the festive sounds of Christmas. Join renowned classical performers Kathleen Battle and Frederica von Stade, jazz trumpet virtuoso Wynton Marsalis, and Andre Previn with the St. Luke's Orchestra and a full choir. It's a joyous holiday treat for the whole family. A Carnegie Hall Christmas concert next time on Great Performances.
We proudly present one of America's greatest stars, Judy Garland.
Might be a fight like you see on the screen. Give my regards to Broadway.
From her TV series in 1964, you won't want to miss When Judy Garland Sings.
Rockabye, your baby, with a Dixie melody. When you cruise.
Victor Borge, Then and Now. A show about then. Whoa, that's all right. Ah, that's good. Thank you. And a show about now. I'm told that my grandfather, there were sometimes for weeks he didn't speak to his wife because he didn't want to interrupt her. I hope you will join us.
Watch live from Lincoln Center the New York Philharmonic's 150th Anniversary Gala with host Hugh Downs, Monday starting at 8.
We welcome you back to Grace Hall on the campus of Lehigh University. Shel Siegel along with Larry Sheridan and Marvin Percy Walenzik, all set to bring you all the action thrills of the 142-pound bout. Chris O'Byrne on the mat for Lehigh, and his opponent will be Eric Saunders for Seton Hall.
Saunders is one of the few seniors on this team.
Is a senior from Pine Hill, New Jersey. Went to Overbrook Regional.
Shake, wrestle right in the middle.
And Chris O'Byrne for Lehigh is a senior from Staten Island, New York.
O'Byrne's the only senior in Lehigh's lineup. Out of Monsignor Farrell. Nice back heel trip.
Good counter, though, by O'Byrne. Went right up into that whizzer, but he left the leg. He's
not going to let go. This guy's going after it. Now he gets it. Eric Saunders ahead by 2. 2 Jersey wrestlers.
Mr. Saunders really looks like he's got some muscle in that upper area, Marvin.
O'Byrne actually Staten Island, New York. Pardon me.
You still? Nice and easy.
Saunders is a strong kid, and he's very aggressive. I saw him wrestle in that Coast Guard tournament last year, and he wrestled very, very tough against good competition.
Bring him down. Still down.
You heard Mark Piven speaking to Saunders and telling him bring him down. That's a call which is being made quicker and quicker now, Larry, that return to the mat.
2-1, not 2-1. Seton Hall season record is 2 wins, 1 loss. This is Lehigh's initial outing.
Seton Hall lose to Wilkes, Larry?
Not that I was aware of.
Who's their loss to?
That I don't know, Mark.
Do you have your EIWA newsletter there? John Harmon's marvelous newsletter, which anybody who's a wrestling fan ought to be subscribing to. Here's something that comes with every subscription to the IWA newsletter. This is a Christmas ornament, large size. It'll go on your tree. It'll go on your Hanukkah bush. You can't lose with that ornament.
Tight waist put in there by Saunders, and he's just grinding.
I am amazed every year that the Buddha is able to get up from that position after a Lehigh University wrestling match. Joseph Ryan. Doug Law says that he doesn't get up. He just sits there from one match to the next, and they just move him between Grace Hall and Stabler on a dolly.
OSHA is concerned about the movement of Joe Ryan.
No, I think
Nice move by O'Byrne.
Motion was detected there when he thought the wrestlers were going to land on him.
Near the edge. Byrne has the leg. It's 2-1.
Yeah, he's got to bring the head in differently, though, Larry. He's ducking that head down too low.
Yeah, he just pushed down to that head.
Watch that knee!
Tough to get the takedown now. Saunders playing it smooth, just holding the head down. Doesn't let him come up.
He's going to have to bring him way out, way in, because Saunders now is... This got the 2 right on the edge. That was recovery from nowhere. Great move to get the 2.
That's part of that extended takedown method, Marv, that a lot of people think you have to be up on your toes. As long as the feet are inside, the feet are in. He's actually on his toes in this situation, but you don't have to be.
He was smart. He waited. He was patient. He showed that kind of confidence on the edge. He had a distinct advantage, but his head was down low. Once that broke, he had that opportunity.
Okay, be still.
36 seconds left, first period.
Never thought he was going to cash in that 2, Marvin.
Saunders is strong. I wonder if he can hold him down. And there's my answer, no. Tied it up.
Meet score is 9-6 with Lehigh ahead.
Saunders from Pine Hill, New Jersey. Wrestled at Overbrook Regional.
Good move, but off the mat.
You could see that one coming from left field. He said, I'll move this sack of wheat, just let me get geared up under it. And at the moment when he went with that underhook and that hip move, at that point he gave too much notice, and Saunders was able to flatten out. Saunders is a little reckless. He's kind of all over the place, and he gives O'Byrne, who's a cuter wrestler, a lot of decent opportunities.
Period ends, and we're tied at 3.
Lehigh, top, bottom, or standing. Seton Hall deferred. Home team goes down.
Now there's a minute and 13 seconds riding time for Saunders and 9 seconds for O'Byrne. So right now Saunders has an advantage on that part of the clock. He's building on it at this point.
Good.
Well, O'Byrne would still try that lateral sweep that he tried earlier and nearly got it at the edge of the mat. I want to slip in a score that will be of interest to all the EIWA fans and all the other wrestling fans in Pennsylvania.
Let's wrestle in the center circle here.
In a dual meet earlier, several weeks ago, Penn State 22, Navy 9. And wow,
that was some maneuver. That was like a football block, Marty. And then down he went.
And in that dual meet, there was local news, defending EIWA champion Hicks of Navy at heavyweight lost to Troxel, the former Peaburg wrestler, now at Penn State. So Troxel of Penn State defeating the EIWA champ Hicks in a tiebreaker, 3-2. And a real surprise in that thing was Russ Hughes, who's the great wrestler of Penn State. We all knew as a state champion, one of the 2 Hughes brothers. Lost to Meffley of Navy, 4-2 in a sudden death. So right off the bat, two real surprises early season on. Melfi knocking off Russ Hughes, and Troxel surprising a lot of people knocking off Hicks of Navy.
Well, Larry, while we have this timeout, let's take another look at that last move if we can bring it up again, because that really was a
Okay, stop the time.
a vicious takedown to give the lead to Saunders.
Shell, as O'Byrne moved in, Saunders just drove into him. O'Byrne was off balance, and he actually did, as you described it, he actually almost tackled him in that sense. It was like a linebacker filling a hole.
It's like one guy going one way and one guy going the other.
We'll get a shot of that maybe later on. We'll pick up the action now here again with under a minute to go in the second period. Say 5-4 lead.
Interesting rule situation, Larry, that some fans may not have known. That contact lens is injury time. That's what was happening. It was changing.
And we only have a minute and a half. And so you have to count a dislodged contact or a lost contact as against that injury time. And in college wrestling, you have a cumulative minute and a half.
Right. Son, you're floating on him. You got to work for the turn.
There's a warning against Seton Hall wrestler stalling.
Can't just stay behind.
Mark Piven colorfully describes it. You're floating on him.
Let's go. Let's work the 4 points.
Saunders with a 1-point lead near the edge of the mat.
Saunders tried to bring him down. O'Byrne got out of it, but he was out of bounds when he did, and so he does not get the escape point.
One warning against Saunders, and he could draw another if he doesn't move aggressively here.
Well, hanging on to that around the waist is part of it. He probably...
Now he gets out, and it's tied at 5-5 with 14 seconds to go.
In the second period, but well over 2 minutes time advantage for the Seton Hall Pirate.
Kind of strange, Larry. He battled it, and then he just let them go with 14 seconds left.
Yeah, well, that was a giveaway point.
If he'd just 2 or 3 more seconds longer, he'd have got called for stalling.
Red shoes are down, third period.
He could have changed levels, though, and gone down and slashed that ankle and picked it up.
It's 5-5.
Third and final period on the way. Lehigh University leading Seton Hall in team score 9-6 at the moment. This bout is tied at 5-5 in the third and final period at 142.
O'Byrne must ride him for 21 seconds to break the minute time. Let's see what happens here. Into the tripod. Saunders
He's not going to hold him, but those shoulders. I think in that situation, he can get called for stalling himself.
That'll be an absolute miracle if he holds him, and he's not going to, as he is thrown right out.
I'll tell you what, though, 30 seconds, that clock just ticked over to the 30-second mark, but it's still more than a minute now.
2 minutes.
Here's the escape, and you'll see the flip that gets him out of it. It is not a takedown for Saunders, just the escape, so we're 6-5.
That's where strength tells.
1.5 to go. The second and third periods of collegiate wrestling are 2 minutes each, and in first period's 3 minutes of length. Total of 7.
Son, don't back off that line.
2-2. Mark Piven is the official. Has some instruction for Eric Saunders.
You sense that Mark Piven feels that Saunders is being cagey at this point and holding on to his point from his riding time, which he's maneuvering toward. So
O'Byrne needs a takedown to get a tie out of this.
Byrne wants to go to that lateral.
Every time they come into that show of strength by the edge of the mat, Saunders seems to have the upper hand.
Yeah, but Saunders is acting at the edge of the mat. He's over near the edge. He has no danger. He throws that hip in and grabs him. And now he's got enough time, I think, that he's got a point sealed, and he may become slightly more aggressive, as he has been warned. There's a lot of bullying and shoving and blocking in here.
Well, this is where O'Byrne can use a little. He's allowing himself to be underhooked. And you can waltz the rest of the night in that position, and to the comfort of the opposing wrestler. There's nothing going to come of that except the passage of time. And with a warning against his opponent, O'Byrne should be smarter and realize, don't get tied up, just shoot at him. You go back into that locked horns position, and you're passing time, and time is not in his favor. He's down by a point, it's less time. He needs a takedown.
Even a double stall will only give him one.
He doesn't need a dance, he needs a takedown.
Noah Byrne trying to work harder.
Too late.
No, 2 seconds to go, and he didn't get it.
Too late. You know, we're on our feet with 50 seconds to go. That took a long time developing.
Yeah, it did. No points awarded, and it's a
7-5.
7-5 victory.
I blew the whistle, or did it go at the same time? Half a second. There's 1 second left.
Wait a minute.
I'll call it to make it fair. You got 1 second.
1 second left. They're going to wrestle. However, it's not going to mean anything, and it'll be a 7-5 victory.
Okay,
Seton Hall has
that's
tied the match at 9-9.
Riding time.
And let's get down Matt's side, where Mike Caruso has Tom Cook, who had Lehigh's first ball of the season. Mike?
From Father Doug, who was my captain at Lehigh, down to son Tom, the Cup family hasn't been known as spinners. But we might see a new family this year. What do you think, Tom?
I don't know. I've been just trying to work on being aggressive out there and, trying to get on the guy, even if he has one toe on the mat. Just keep pushing him. So, maybe that's working for me to be a pinner this year.
Feel more confident?
Much more, yes.
Good. Good luck this year. Thank you.
Ready to go at 150 pounds, Steve Cassidy on the mat for Lehigh University. His opponent is Brendan Ferreter of Seton Hall.
Stay in.
Ferreter is a senior from Bergenfield, New Jersey. And Cassidy, of course, a junior from Pittsburgh.
Guys, you get to the edge. Work back in. Don't go out.
Match is 9-9. This bout just underway. Ferreter in quick on that 5. Cassidy blocking with the outside leg and leveraging his hips, keeping the weight down on Ferreter.
Stalemate.
Looks like Cassidy is a little bigger this year somehow. Looks a little taller than last year. Although he is at 150.
Possible, Shell, you may be a little shorter
that
this year.
That could be, Mark.
Ferreter's a senior, Bergenfield, New Jersey. Cassidy, one of 2 wrestlers on the Lehigh team from Plum High School.
Let him in.
Pittsburgh.
Let him in. Son, you have to let him in. Don't hold him. You got to let him in. You're blocking him.
Cassidy doesn't quite agree with Mark Piven on that brief lecture in the middle of the mat.
Cassidy's an engineer, and he understands things like angles and openings.
And pro bono and things like that.
Think about that pro bono. There's a nice shot for a high signal. Going to convert that back trip. That was nice, Larry.
Nice move.
Off they go, and the Buddha nearly gets a lap full there with 1:30 to go. Here's the takedown coming up, Larry.
This picks up that single and really contains it.
Be still.
Drops down.
Uneasy.
And picks up 2 and anchors the takedown. Pulls around up high. And if he lays on that, you get called for stalling.
Escape.
Easy escape.
Cassidy has abandoned the purple shoes. He's now gone to the high color, high tech shoe.
Asics. Tiger. Tie score 9-9. As we come down to 1 minute left in the first period at this 150-pound weight class.
Larry, tell the fans why Ferreter was out there. Why was he out?
Out of bounds?
Yeah. Explain that rule now. There he's on the edge. He's got the ankle. He's looking to work with it, and the call comes.
There was no real purchasing power on the fact that he had the ankle. I mean, he just had it.
But why was he out of bounds? He had nothing going. You're saying if he has
Precisely,
no control,
you answered the question. He had nothing going.
It's confusing to a lot of fans about that edge rule. You see somebody grabbing for something and they're on the edge. Bang, he tells them you're off.
For the whistle.
Now, the other times he'll be pulling for a takedown, maybe have an ankle. The difference is if you have some legitimate opportunity to score.
Something going on, then it's a situation. Otherwise, it's just once a situation, the other one's an event. The event is
stalling warning being called.
Situation, it is standing there, nothing's going on.
Ferreter gets a stall.
I'll tell you, Ferreter's a strong horse out there. Because I know Cassidy is not weak, but he goes in and can't get anything. He's quick. Up too high. They lost him. Rocks him back and gets 2 at the buzzer.
Who got the 2? Cassidy. Cassidy gets the 2 right at the bell, so it's 4-1.
He put that single leg in there, and that gave it to him at the buzzer.
I don't think there's any question he had the takedown. Here it is, Larry. It's what if the
So far, he's nothing.
Red goes down.
He has to bring him to the mat. Now he lifts it. Now he's bringing him to the mat, but he slips up front.
So it's 4-1. Second
Now,
period.
as he drops to the mat, he's got a single leg in there.
There it is.
Yeah.
Now maybe if it had gone 4 or 5 more seconds, Ferreter may have gotten something of a reversal.
His hips were sliding,
Sure.
as you had said. But he's up high again. This is where he lost him before. This turns in and turns out.
Cassidy probably figures he cannot hold him anyway, so much better on his feet. As difficult as Ferreter is to bring down. So it's 4-2 now. We're in the second period at 150 pounds. Seton Hall jumped off to a 6-0 lead on a fall at 118, but Tom Cook evened it for Lehigh with a fall at 126. John McCumber won by a point at 34. Eric Saunders came back for Seton Hall at 42, and we are tied now at 9 apiece.
Cassidy going around the back, has to bring him down again. Drops the leg, gets a single, and has the 2. 6-2.
Now we'll see what happens, Larry. It's the same as before.
Let's improve
Let's
it.
see what he does.
It could be a stalemate or a penalty. He can't, his legs aren't long enough to hip out. Now he did. 1 minute left, second period.
You ever seen Cassidy work legs, Larry?
No.
It's a little cross-body ride. He's got that Jacob's hook in there, and he's holding on to it.
He must have gone to the Jim Jackson school at Shady Side Academy of 45 years ago. Only the old fans will remember Jim Jackson.
That'll include you, Larry. Cheryl and I don't know who he is.
Yes, it was before me. Same thing, goes in on that single.
Got work to go on,
lifts,
son, not off.
Converts,
29 seconds.
counters, and comes around the back, hooking the leg.
Does a good job with that leg hook, Larry. He's very slick with it. Ferreter not even alert to it as it comes around him.
Now there's a chance for a reverse split scissors right there. Flip it over. Waited too long.
Ferreter working the toe.
The toe.
Oh, what a chance. What a golden opportunity. 1 second.
Did he do it?
No, he had the anchor to the leg.
Is that a Lehigh fight song?
Third
On your
period.
golden wedding day, that is?
Yes.
Get on.
Third and final period on the way.
The band is a nice touch.
Cassidy working to collapse the left side.
Cassidy leading 6-2 has a riding time point assured at this moment, but that of course could be eliminated by some action on the top here by Ferreter.
Ferreter has the warning, coming with a hard crossface, trying to work a leg in. Seton Hall leads the league, the world league in tattoos. They haven't had a guy out here yet without one.
Minute 20 seconds remaining.
Once again, want to call the fans' attention to the EIWA newsletter, which is published by John Harmon, and would like to give you the address. If you don't get this newsletter, you're going to miss it. The first issue alone was terrific. Larry.
Okay, coming up in 1 minute, we may get a stalling call if nothing doesn't develop out of this.
Well, Ferreter has wiped out the riding time advantage, although Cassidy still leads 6-2. 54 seconds to go in the third and final period.
Mr. Siegel, I want you to know that I have sent my $12 to
54.
Bring Beauty Drive, but since Marv hasn't, the commercial will get him a complimentary copy.
Well, as a matter of fact, I even sent out a number of gift subscriptions, but they are $12 a year. And the EIWA newsletter, which is published at 189 Spring Beauty Drive, Lawrenceville, New Jersey, 189 Spring Beauty Drive, Lawrenceburg, New Jersey, 08648. You can fax your order to 609-896-1828 or the 896-3476 telephone order. John J. Harmon, the editor who puts out this wonderful publication.
20 seconds remaining, and Cassidy, who has been on the bottom this entire match now, the riding time has been completely eliminated. And I believe a stalling call has been called on Cassidy this time.
Son, you got a warning. You got to try to score.
That's correct. And 10 seconds to go. Cassidy should coast to the victory here.
But I think Cassidy's really been doing that for the last minute. And Piven noticed it, said, hey, you know, it's fine. You can lie on the bottom and win. But
Get on.
Make an effort, and if you don't, I'll call you.
Now Cassidy tries to get out and turn in. And he'll be content to ride this one out and win it by a score of 6-2. So Cassidy wins. Lehigh takes back the lead now by a score of 12-9. And right now we're going down Matt's side. Mike Caruso has Eric Saunders, who won for Seton Hall at 134 pounds. Michael?
We're down here at Matt's side, Shell, a hard-earned victory at 142 by Eric Saunders. Eric mentioned to me he thought the environment here was a little bit different. In what way, Eric?
Well, myself and my teammates included, coming from a small Division I school, the atmosphere here is just a little different. The crowds and the cameras, it makes for just a whole different environment than we're used to.
Do you think it's very much more motivating to you?
Very much so, because, like I said, we're a small Division I school, wrestling in Lehigh, which is a very respectable program. It just adds to the atmosphere and it helps us wrestle that much harder.
Good. We'd like to see you back. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very articulate young man, Mr. Eric Saunders.
Brian
In fact, I wasn't sure. He was interviewing, I think he was interviewing Mike.
Well, I think Caruso told me when he was at St. Benny's that his first choice was Seton Hall, but he couldn't reach the hoops, so he came to Lehigh.
Well, this is Cipollone, and he's out here, Shell, against Burke.
Joe Burke.
Yeah, Joe Burke is tough. This will not be an easy match for Brian. If he wins here, Brian Cipollone will have collected a nice early season win. Brian currently ranked 4th in the EIWA individual rankings, behind DeSora, Kwapniewski, and St. John of Stroudsburg, Rutgers, and Syracuse, respectively.
12-9 lead. Seton Hall has certainly not been a pushover in these first 5 bouts. They have wrestled Lehigh tough in every single bout, including the ones they've lost.
This is a big swing bout in this meet.
We better let go of that head or he's going to his back.
Out and then back in. They were both out.
I think that was a break for Cipollone. Had that arm lock around the head, but he was trapped with it. If he'd have come back, he'd have come back on his behind.
Now Cipollone has got himself in some trouble.
No, he's got
he's got his opponent in trouble.
4-point move.
That is correct.
Easy.
Double underhook, and he turned that hip in, turned him out. Burke is a very tough competitor, Larry. This bout won't end up 4-2. Burke is tough.
Comes right around and gets 2 back.
Good move by Cipollone. And I hope down there in Philadelphia, Coach Dave Burke, who's returned to grappling at and helping the Lower Marion High wrestling team, getting back to normal after that.
See, here it is, Larry. Look, he's overhooked.
There it is, right there.
50 seconds up.
Overhook, comes to the underhook, swings the hip, makes a nice toss. He has him blocked with the one arm. He has a lever arm, the right arm. Good hip movement and leg movement. Turns it.
He's got that half in there, and that could be dangerous. 38 seconds ago, Cipollone's trying to come around. Nothing's coming to this one. Just working his hips out around the back.
Burke managed to pick up 2 to tie it up at 2. 4-4. And retains control.
So we're all tied up. the reversal with 5 seconds remaining. May get switched right out of position. There's the buzzer.
Good period for Cipollone.
Then you came back.
Burke was on the edge each time, managed to come back, and it's 6-4.
That's right.
Look at the reversal here, Larry.
Your choice, son. The first.
Just working on the situation, coming through, lifts that leg. Definitely has the reversal right there. There's the 2. That came with 7 seconds to go.
Green shows down.
And then trying to go for an inside switch, but the buzzer rang right there.
I thought Cipollone did a great job in moving that leg through the legs of Burke to get leverage. Good job by Cipollone. Set it up and came off it.
There's that half, that ever dangerous half in that situation. That I remember several wrestlers from Syracuse were good at that. Working the crab, slipping up the half, getting a tilt. And at that time it was referred to as a cheapie, but it was worth points.
Burke keeps coming on, trailing 6-4, but he has dominated to the extent that he already has about 1 minute and 20 riding time already.
There's that half, Marv, right there.
I think he's off balance, Larry.
But what he has to do is flip the hips out, then he's got 2, and he locks you. And when he goes into a body scissors, he can pick up near.
He already said he's got 2, so we're tied.
Yeah. Easy. You can't call time there, son. Easy. Easy. Break. 3 points.
We got a timeout.
We got 3.
Shoulder injury, get 3 points.
Potentially dangerous hold and a 3-point near fall will make it 7-6. And injury perhaps to the left shoulder.
Michelle, our mention here of the top rider award went to Gary Abbott. The Dellinger Award, which is given to the best rider of wrestling in the United States, was awarded recently to Gary Abbott. And Gary's from Harbor Lanes High out of Greenlaw, New York, and he's done a superb job,
you ready,
particularly
son?
this year with the Olympics.
Yes.
And it's an honor well-deserved to Gary Abbott. He's working hard for USA Wrestling.
1 minute left, second
Colorado.
period.
Congratulations to Gary for that prestigious award.
7-6. Cipollone is in the down position, and that was pretty grueling hold. It remains to be seen just how much of a toll that's going to take on Brian.
See if he goes back into that crab ride again. He'll slip his knees on either side of the hips, and then float with that situation up under the hat.
Cipollone moving aggressively, not cashing anything out of it as Burke puts that leg in, and they're up high.
Easy. Stay in.
There's that half.
As soon as he hits that head roll, boy, that half's right in there like a mask.
So
he's looking for that, isn't he, Larry?
Yeah.
He wants him to roll. He can through and hit that.
(12-9) lead for Lehigh, but
on easy.
Joe Burke wrestling very smartly here, trying to tie things up.
Coming up. It's coming up right there. He's going to join it and loop him over the top.
Watch the throw.
Doesn't spare look at that. He hit that forearm across Cipollone's head. He's a bruising wrestler, Burke. He's not a great technician. He's a brawler.
From Mill May, New Jersey, out of Buena Regional.
Time running out in the second period, and Burke has really dominated. He already has almost a 3-minute time advantage, although the score is only 7-6. Cipollone managed to get a point, and he does right at the end. And we are tied at 7-7 going into the third and final period.
Very gutsy play move by Brian Cipollone. He never quit. He could have left it go. He kept moving, and finally saw that opening, switched his hips, and came neutral.
Well, I think now,
Third period, gentlemen.
Well, here is the National Wrestling Media Association 1992 Wrestling Broadcasters of the Year, nationally awarded. This is a great, great award. The recipients are Shel Siegel and Larry Sheridan, and deserving. I'm delighted to be here at the feet of the masters, growing wise, because that's a national award, and nobody could have deserved it more than you two guys.
Thank you.
Last year at the National.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marvin.
And I actually asked the
in the middle.
When they awarded the plaques down in Oklahoma last year, it was quite a thrill to be over your peers and be recognized by a lot of people down at the NCAA tournament last year.
Russell in here.
But I said, did you have to put Siegel first?
It's alphabetical. Reverse.
That's exactly what I meant.
8-7 lead for Joe Burke, but
and a nice somersault.
He really has been in control of this match to a larger degree than that score would indicate.
Burke is more aggressive on his feet. He likes to overhook that arm.
You've got to try to wrestle.
Lehigh warned for stalling again.
You know, it's
it doesn't bode well with Sergey, and I'm sure Coach Hutch to get nailed for stalling when you're trailing.
You know, I think the amazing thing is to have almost be down 3 minutes in riding time and only be behind by a point. So, I mean, he's still in this match. If he could get a takedown, he could win it.
Well, Larry's in trouble now. He's got to work off something on this as a counter combination.
Burke doesn't have that real
Burke
well.
Burke senses it now. He's got down by the ankle, and that's pretty...
Watch the knee! Watch the knee! Watch the knee! Watch the knee! Okay.
It's not going to be enough just to get out of this. He's going to have to do something with it.
You tell me what they have.
He just didn't have the moxie to come through with that, Barb. Cipollone had a TD, but didn't have the moxie to develop it.
Cipollone is really gassed out right now, I believe.
That's a good observation, Shell. He's been taking a physical pounding from this kid.
He's got to get two. He's down by... he's down really. It's 1 point on the board, but it's 9-7 really because of the point time. 25 seconds to go. Something has to happen.
Cipollone has to go offense and initiate, Larry, or he's giving the bout up. Burke is not going to make a mistake now. Burke can give up a point.
Yeah, he's been countering a lot of Burke's moves. Now, you got to remember, Cipollone was called for...
Don't keep going forward. Let him stay.
Warned for stalling, so he has to be the aggressor. 13 seconds to go. He's got nothing to lose. Shoot anything. Go in on that leg like that. Throw those hips across.
Nothing's going to come of it, but at least he took a shot. And the final score will be 9-7 victory for Joe Burke.
I think conditioning there was the factor.
And we've got a real bond burner on our hands. We are tied at Seton Hall 12 and Lehigh 12 with the final 4 bouts coming up. We are tied at 12. This is Shel Siegel along with Larry Sheridan and Marvin Walenzik, all set to bring you all the action now at 167. And Lou Sergio, is that how you pronounce his name, Marvin? Sergio, who is one tough customer.
Okay, gentlemen,
Witness Mr. Walenzik's analysis, and his opponent will be Brian Strunk. Once again, Marv Walenzik, and now Larry Sheridan. Larry?
Well, immediately goes right in, and this could be a fast mover because I know this Curcio's a tough horse. I was hoping to see Hep go against him, but they moved Hep up to 77.
Where's Andy Fitz?
Stay on.
He's got a red shirt, if I may use that expression.
How about brown shirt for Lehigh? Brown and white shirt.
Absolutely. He's going to sit out the year to the best of my knowledge. This goes right in and gets that leg. They're inspired, this team.
Don't move.
This kid is inspired all the time. I saw him wrestle Earl Walker last year, lose 15-2, and then come back and pin him in the finals of the Coast Guard tournament.
Out of Plainfield, New Jersey.
Yeah, he's excellent. He's a tough kid. And he gives no quarter.
Strunk has not wrestled that often for Lehigh.
Easy, easy.
Larry, Strunk, I'm going to check this, but I know Strunk was a good wrestler in Ohio. Let me see if I can...
Yeah, but the fact was he was, but then the last 2 years he hasn't doing much wrestling as a result. A lot of things leave you when you don't do that much wrestling.
Easy!
Yeah, he was third in the state in his senior year. I think in the top class.
Okay.
Strunk is not out of this. He's a good scrapper.
want to say hello. We saw the underwriter with Lehigh Wrestling Club. I want to say hello to my compadre, Cass Camarda, president of the Lehigh Wrestling Club, who's at home recuperating from a little surgery.
And Larry, want to make a special thanks to the Lehigh Wrestling Club and all the great people in the club this year for their special extra contribution to help underwrite Lehigh University Wrestling on Channel 39 this season. Thanks go to Cass, Marta, and all the officials and members of the Lehigh Wrestling Club for their extra special efforts in making Lehigh Wrestling possible this season.
I visited Cass today to see how he's coming along. He's doing fine. His mother was there babysitting him, and she said he can't go to the wrestling meet tonight. So, Cass, you realize who the boss is after all these years. Mom prevails.
Well, Sergio really is one tough man out there. He leads 4-1. Doing a tough job on Brian Strunk of Lehigh. Sergio from Plainfield, New Jersey, went to Scotch Plains High School.
Sergio apparently is as you can see, is an aggressive, excellent wrestler. He gets that Seton Hall bench fired up. They're right into this match. They're very intense as a group. They've rooted very hard for their teammates. They hang together, and this is a spirited outfit.
Well, for a school that's really in just their third season, they have 30 wrestlers on the roster that went out for the sport this year on the varsity roster.
Well, it's their third season of making it a major sport. Yeah, they've been grappling a while.
In the center. Circle in here, guys.
Last takedown by Sergio, Larry.
Half a shot by Strunk.
Actually, he spun, and Strunk just didn't move too fast enough. He kind of did that slow motion and gave that takedown to the Pirate.
It wasn't a shrug, it was a swat. Sergio with that underhook.
Lehigh, top, bottom, neutral, or defer.
4-2 lead
down
for Sergio.
Shoes is down.
Although he has dominated this bout by a considerably larger margin.
The score is 4-2.
Witness the fact he has 119 in riding time already.
Still.
Of course, the best team in the East this year will have to be Cornell by far.
Caution.
Not even an issue.
Wait for me.
They're up there all by themselves.
They're not even an issue.
Wait for me.
But Brown's ranked as Brown and Navy follow Cornell, but pretty far down the rung.
Well, they both could be there. They have some people coming back.
Cornell has that murderer's row right off the bat. Bang, bang, bang. They could be ahead as far as 18-0 after 3 bouts.
Larry, they don't know. They got so many people at 18 and 26. They don't. Sims is down to 18 already.
Yeah, and I understand that kid that they have at 26 could wrestle on any team in the United States.
Roland Case.
Yeah. In again, but countered so far by Curcio. Strunk trying, but one arm won't do it. Just being blocked, and he's getting a lot of help from the bench. Now a lateral drop would be in the offing here, but they both back away.
They both tend to reach a little, Larry, and that's what you're thinking from that position. They're extended.
1:10 left, second period.
Hey, don't go over that line. Stay in here.
Tibbin with a careful instruction. The next one, I'm sure, will get a warning.
Well, the Sheridan tournament, next encounter for Lehigh, has got a lot of tough wrestlers coming in.
Well, who's in that tournament, Larry?
Well, North Carolina State for openers, and Wisconsin, and I think you get Bloomsburg thrown in there, and then you've got from that point on, it's Bucknell, Old Dominion, George Mason. Quite a group of, and each of those teams have great wrestlers on their squad. So it's going to be quite a one-day session. 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and I think 7 o'clock. guy going to get the takedown, and he gets 5 against him.
2 points.
4.
There it is, Larry.
Strunk trying to counter. Now watch his leg. Jumps around the back.
You're down.
And it's a battle of who's going to get who, but he ends up
right
the
on the
loser.
When he had that leg through, Larry, he stayed out to the side and tilted himself off balance. He had to whip around behind there, and he didn't take full advantage of it. You're right. He's moving slower than Curcio.
And the period ends. It's an 8-3 lead for Curcio over Strunk.
You know, it's interesting, but
last period.
There you see one of the arm bars, which have been designed by Ron Tico, who is holding one of those ice cream bars. Ron Tico, who is director of marketing for Lehigh University, and when you get one of these at one of the Lehigh matches, you get a picture of a wrestler. You get the whole assortment. Ron has finished about 7 or 8 of these already in the first 4 bouts, and will probably weigh about 400 pounds by the time the season is over. But that's a brand new marketing feature here at Lehigh, so don't forget to ask for an arm bar when you come here and collect all Lehigh wrestlers.
With an 8-3 lead, Curcio with actually a 9-3 lead. 1:39 to go in the 3rd period. Some riding time gives it 9-3. It's 12-12 in the meet. This is a very big bout because the next 3, nobody knows what will happen. Either side could take the 3.
Actually, that is not a new marketing tool. Marvin Walensik was on 4 of those at Brown University when he wrestled.
They were all pieces.
He was too big to get on one single stick of wood.
Oh, by the way, Penn is in the Sheridan tournament. I'm glad to have them up here. And
I've got some good wrestlers, Larry.
Yep. I want to make a note that due to the generosity of a former Penn wrestler that we used to watch grapple, Dave Pottruck, he donated $100,000 to the Penn wrestling program, and as a result, that will add to Penn's endowment and keep the sport moving and keep it at Penn where it's been since about 1908.
I spoke with Dave Pottruck. He's the president of Charles Schwab.
Okay.
San Francisco, and I invited him to come to the Easterns this year at Lehigh.
2 wrestlers have made it well in the financial world, the other one being Steve Friedman, who is the CEO.
Is it of Goldman Sachs?
Goldman Sachs, CEO.
I want to remind you that the Sheridan Finals will be on tomorrow morning, Sunday morning at 11 a.m. So if you miss any part of the Sheridan tournament, we'll have the championship final matches for you, and that will be on Channel 39 tomorrow morning, Sunday morning at 11 a.m.
Single leg dive, just dropping another 2. Now it's 11-3. Lets him up, and he's going to go for a 4-pointer. Just taking him down at will now with 30 seconds to go. Back in on that leg, lift, turn, and it's a case now of conditioning.
Larry, as this one goes down to the end, it's interesting, it's a good year for $100,000 donations. Artemis Jakowski, an ex-Lawrenceville wrestler at Brown, gave $100,000 for the Brown wrestling program. So it's been a good year for Ivy Givers.
Let him in.
And the period will end, and it will be an 8-point major decision by the Seton Hall wrestler at this moment, unless something dramatic happens in the last 3 seconds. Lou Cercio wins it, and with that decision, 4 points on the board for Seton Hall, and the Pirates move out ahead of Lehigh by a score of 16-12. Let's go down Matt's side. Steve Cassidy and Mike Caruso.
We're here Matt's side with co-captain Cassidy, who returned 1991 record and starts the year off 1-0. Can we see a difference, Steve Cassidy, this year? Any changes from last year?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna try and work on my endurance and a little more offensive. Therefore, third period comes around, I can get a few more falls, a couple more team points. We're a bit more inexperienced than last year, so the more points I can put on the board, the better off for the team. And hopefully
I'll get out to nationals and get an All-American medal. You know, that's what it's all about.
We hope so too. Good luck, Steve.
Okay, here at 177, Rick Hepp and Kesner Dufresne on the mat. No score.
Kelly?
Kesner Dufresne, to the best of my knowledge.
Yeah, this is Dufresne, I believe. Kelly did not wrestle. And that 4-point major decision could be a very big factor here, getting that extra point, because it means that the decision by Hepp or anyone else.
I will bet Hepp.
Hepp's going to get those points back right now.
He's going to pin him with a half Nelson.
Hepp will beat this kid and get the points back right now. It's going to go to 90 in heavyweight.
He'll put a half Nelson on him and pin him. I'm telling you. There it is. Do I call it or don't I call it?
You're the best, Larry. You are the absolute best.
Well, it ain't over till it's over. Mr. Dufresne may have other ideas.
2 points. There's a 3-pointer, maybe. 2 points. There you are, Larry. See Hepp in on that leg. Goes to a double, drives up under the arm, converts, and then whips that hip out and comes around behind.
Well, I've always liked Hepp because he's a pinner. He's the leading pinner of the team, and he does it with my favorite, the old far wrist and a half Nelson.
Sam Lehigh usually wrestles 142, may be back in about a week, we hope. We have just been advised by the Lehigh sports staff, but Mr. Dufresne just hurled Hepp off the mat, 5-1.
Rick Hepp is an excellent wrestler. He's got to improve and improve and improve. And he is a real comer for Lehigh.
My time. He's got a scrape.
Momentary timeout here.
Someone wipe that mat, please. There's blood on him.
Okay, that's a sign of the times, Marv.
Blood all the time now.
When we used to wrestle, they just come out and sponge. Now you have a procedure.
A contact lens injury, you say, does count, but blood still doesn't count. Is that right?
But the methodology in cleaning up the blood with the gloves on and the whole routine is a sign of the times. And it has to be use a special solution in that squeezer.
Except he didn't use the gloves, Larry.
You're standing,
well, that's his risk.
5-1 now as we continue to wrestle with 1:30 to go. Rick Hepp for Lehigh trying to get
in the center.
Lehigh back into this match, trailing 16-12. Hepp has 36 seconds riding time and
can't do anything about sweating.
Seemingly in control.
Mark Piven has some great, he gives you tremendous comments if you listen to him. I can't do anything about sweating, fellas.
Well, could he, if he wanted to, towel them off?
Nice headlock.
Good headlock maneuver. And Mr. Hepp gets out of it quickly and gets an escape and a reversal. Quick order.
Well, I don't think they ever gave the takedown.
Well,
on the headlock.
The one went up, so it's 6-1. You're right. 7-1 now.
That's why I say Rick Hepp could be the jewel of this team this year.
There's that half. He's going to soften him up with that a while. I tell you that to me, in recent years, was Pat Santoro from Pitt was the greatest half Nelson pinner.
Well, he almost got that half in from that left side. He just sunk that left half from the left side.
Now for Rick Hepp. 1:28 riding time. Time running down in the first period. Hepp actually demolishing his opponent, Kesner Dufresne. But out of fairness, Dufresne is just a freshman from Newark, New Jersey, and Hepp, although he's just a sophomore, far more experienced.
Son, top, bottom, neutral, or defer. Down. Choosing down.
Good move by Coach Hutchison.
Down, second
as
period.
he moved Hepp to 77. Gamble was sprung at 67. Struck with a gamer.
9-1.
Figured Hepp can get this back against the less experienced Dufresne.
Okay, uneasy.
A lot of lineup maneuvering tonight by the coaches. Seton Hall moving people up. Lehigh moving people up. Good strategy, good meat.
Escape 9-1, but Hepp sort of gave that away.
In the middle. To the middle.
Telling him to get into the middle of the mat.
Mark Piven like a playground supervisor, getting the kids back from recess.
Hepp comes around. He's got 2 more.
And riding time, Shell, as this is rolling. It's in the second period.
Keep working.
Has all the trappings of a technical ball coming in.
Well, he might want more than that 5 points.
Well, he's got that arm around there, Shell. If you see, he's got it very tight, and he's looking to grab that tight-waisted. There's a little hook. Leg over.
1:10 remaining, second period, 11-2. Got to keep slipping those hips out or he traps himself. Got to flip those hips, take that far arm.
Dufresne trying to get loose in there. Wedge his hips in and take the other arm. Good bar by Hepp, keeping control. Good arm bar.
Easy.
Doesn't go that way, does it, Marv?
Not tonight.
There you see Jack Foley and Dr. Emil DiOrio. Jack, of course, Director of Sports Medicine at Lehigh. Team physician on the right, Dr. Emil DiOrio. And as Larry mentioned, our congratulations to Dr. DiOrio as the centerfold for Atlantic Monthly this month.
Tremendous pictures. If you haven't bought it, go down and get it. Jack Foley wearing that special red and blue ribbon in Mornings for Superman.
There's the half Nelson.
Oh, man.
And there's the pin.
And a pin.
And did I call it, Marvin? I thank you. I start off the year with a...
Larry, you're red hot, guy. You've been right on top of everything tonight.
If all those wrestlers out there would learn the half Nelson, we could go home a lot earlier some nights.
Rick Hepp went off to the wrong bench. He walked over to the Seton Hall bench. He was a little dazed by that last action. So Lehigh has gotten falls out of Tom Cook and Rick Hepp.
Well, the other thing we said is that this is going to go down to the last 2 counts. It's really obvious that it wasn't decided when Sergio won big.
Anthony Sillimperi on the mat.
Sillimperi did not have a great record last year. And so
he wrestled almost the entire season.
He's a gamer.
Watch the knee.
But I think he's wrestling a faster grappler.
Chuck Haas is a sophomore from Edmond, Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's another good reason to worry. Come from Oklahoma, but I think really when I look at Haas, he looks like a 77-pounder in at 90.
Move in.
Does he look 190 to you, Marv?
You okay, son? Clear.
He doesn't look real big.
I thought Dufresne looked heavier.
Bigger. Haas lost to Zerlup, Columbia, 9-2 in the dual meet. And Zerlup's a pretty good wrestler. Sillimperi's a gamer. He's moved himself into his junior year. He's coming along. And you know that Coach Hutchison down there is telling him, Anthony, you put this one away, win us 3 points here, and our big boy will go out and protect it for us.
All right. Okay, come back.
Got a minute. I want to
concluded.
Mention a great wrestling tournament that's coming up December 12th. George Lieberman's running the show on this Valley Youth House. That's going to be a great tournament up at Muhlenberg, being put on by a group of people working very hard for the Lehigh Valley Youth House. And come see it. It's going to be a great tournament with a lot of great high school teams, among which would be Nazareth High and Northampton High. So Muhlenberg on December 12th.
Let's wrestle, guys. Let's wrestle.
Haas is up very high, Larry. He's got that wrist. He's one-on-one with wrist control, but he gets up his hip position. I don't like. I think if Sillimperi can get a little base and get aggressive here, he can turn this.
Well, he just has to move
right time. Go
quickly. Boom, boom.
Not much you're going to do for that. Just rinse it out.
Piven now a dentist. So far he's been a playground supervisor, a dentist, a plasmid. Coach Tom Hutchison and Sergei Beloglazov having a word with Sillimperi. Hutch looks in great shape this year. Letting his hair grow a little bit. He's getting that wants to age a little bit. He'd like to just show himself a little older. That youthful look.
Concentration.
Not quite there.
Where are they?
Never debonair. An excellent coach, Tom Hutchison.
Up, right?
Mark, sometime when we have a long timeout, we can talk about the penalties that the NCAA levied on Oklahoma State University and also Lock Haven. It's been an interesting summer, but I do know one thing, that Oklahoma State University cannot compete in the NCAA tournament. Now, if you're a senior and you've got a year's eligibility left, they can leave the school and wrestle for some other school.
That's right. That's correct.
Unless those who are transferring were part of the problem.
They can also defer because you've got 5 to 4.
Down.
So if you've got during your third year, if you're doing one of your senior year, you could sit out and come back for your 5th.
Yeah.
Unless there's some special.
That puts Pat Smith in a dilemma. He's a 3-time national champion, but I think he's already had his redshirt year.
It's down against his back.
And he either has to forfeit getting 4 in a row or move to another school. I don't think he can redshirt and wrestle in 2 years from now. There's room for him at the Lehigh line.
Let's score.
He's, well, first you've got to get into school. Michelle said 18 of Lehigh's wrestlers had a 3.0 average or better.
Nice
There's
move
a
by
knee.
Anthony, but he hurt his knee. He hurt his knee.
All right.
2-1. 35 seconds.
Perry, and I don't think that happened when he was breaking away. I think he got out, but twisted that knee
He went limp
again.
for a second.
You know, Syracuse even got bumped a little bit, and
I don't think the wrestling program was affected.
yes,
by
it was.
that.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, they had it was a misinterpretation on how they add up the monies, and the bottom line is that Syracuse now has to, instead of having 9.9 scholarships, they're going to end up with 7.4. They lost 2.5.
I want to know who the 4/10th man is. Which man will be the 4/10th?
Yeah, that 9.9. But Lock Haven really got to beat Marvin when they have to forfeit all the NCAA records compiled by their teams for the years 88, 89, and 90. That hurts.
That's heavy. See, if Seton Perry can win here, it gives a big edge to the young freshman heavyweight, Edmund.
He better let go of that, or he's going to go. Okay.
But if he loses here, it still goes down to the heavyweight match.
He deferred to you. Top bottom of standing. Green deferred. Red shows down.
The heavyweight
second period.
for Seton Hall is not a big kid.
Be still, please. Okay, you ready? Okay, on easy.
And of course, there's an ongoing investigation, Marv, with other schools, Iowa and Michigan, and Wisconsin, Purdue, and Minnesota, among them, for oversubscribing their scholarship limits. Going to be interesting.
Something that Lehigh schools like that do not have to worry about. They're perfectly clean programs. Coach Hutcherson would not be a part of that. This is a very honorable institution.
Takedown.
3-1. We're in the second period. Seton Perry
Let go too soon. Let go way too soon. Takes 2 arms on that leg. Now he's got 2 arms on it.
That is in.
Bring him back in. Got a minute plus to do it. Time advantage rests with the other wrestler. Pirate.
Keep wrestling.
Niven says there's no stalemate. Keep wrestling.
Well,
Anthony, you can't.
So Seton Perry just is not doing anything to cause this fall. And he's going to have to give it up.
Gotta do something.
Well, the thing that was bad was Seton Perry allowed him to put his foot in the crotch area. You want to get it out from there and move it to the side.
Side, and then you can step to a trip or drive.
When the referee saw him hanging onto that thing, and he says, "Hey, do something with it. Move it out." But he can't say move it out because that's coaching. He just said,
Anthony had that if he just
said do something. What he meant was move it out.
That's a technique fault. because a Seton Hall wrestler wants to rest. He's doing a lot of blocking. He's got that left palm up on Philip Perry's shoulder. He's going to waltz this out and hold on to his riding time advantage. Very guarded in. 5-second swirl, they call that.
Philip Perry definitely has weight advantage over this boy.
Now, that's an injury time, and Hutch can't coach
It's
during
going to be
the
a
injury
choice,
time.
Coach.
That's correct.
But the other man can.
Right. He can get all the lessons he wants from Mike Gibbons
Now,
and
what's the
Leroy
equity-
Witherspoon,
what's the
the two
equity of
assistant
that?
coaches. Huh?
What is the equity of that?
Well,
You
the
have
guy
a man
calls
who's
time out. He says he's hurt. He's really going off to get a little coaching.
Bleed from the nose?
Well, but they permit the other man
Well,
the
he didn't
advantage
call
of
the
having
But he
a
didn't
coach.
call the timeout. Now, Marvin, even I know that.
But he's not hurt.
You're not a trial, Marv. You're just sitting here as along the bench. We're having a little
top
side
out of a standing. Okay, home team chooses down. Come in. Hey, come in here.
Ah, there's the coaching.
He caught him. Hutch was
Okay,
giving him a
goes
little
down. You're up.
Hutch
Third
never
period
did
was
that.
3-1.
Hutch never did that. Philip Perry was coaching Hutchison.
Pardon?
That's right. Out there, my 127 is
Yes,
mine.
correct.
Okay, ready to go in the third and
Still.
final period.
Get
Lehigh
on.
leading Seton Hall 18-16 in team score. We are in the third and final period at 190. Seton Perry losing to
Got to
Chuck
move a
Haas.
lot more quickly than that.
And this would give Seton Hall the lead by a point if they can hang on here going into heavyweight.
Haas using that butt. He's going to hold himself over there. Got that wrist control rider.
Not much happening.
Building the riding time is what he's doing.
He's wasting the time. Seton Perry has to move and get out of there. He's the guy that's trailing. Well, there's nothing happening. I point out that next year, 1994, the NCAA championships are at the University of North Carolina down in Chapel Hill. So get your reservations early, Marv. I've got privileges at Chapel Hill Country Club, and I've got that all set up.
You're stalling with that.
Well, that's what I've been waiting for all these years.
Stay right behind them and just hang on. You got to try to come out to the side. And try
There
to
you
score.
see the coaching staff of Lehigh. We have 49 seconds to go in the third and final period. Seton Perry is getting wiped out in the time part of this.
Got
He is behind by almost 2.5 minutes.
Optional start.
He trails by 2 points.
He's going to let him up.
No, he's just going to jump on him with that.
Yeah, because Seton Perry's making very little of it from that situation.
He's got a minute riding time cinch, so it's 4-1.
Yeah.
So even if he gets hit with the stalling call, it's still going to be a 2-point advantage.
Seton Perry has to move a little faster than this.
Well, when he got up, Larry, he got to the standing position. He knew he was hitting that mat. When you hit that mat, you've got to accelerate into your moves. You've got to wrestle with some chain work. Hook and roll by Seton Perry.
But not a follow-up. Halfway through, he stops.
And he also did let go of the arm, Larry. He needs to keep the arm.
It falls down, and that's it. It's all over. And now we go to the heavyweight bout. It's a winner-take-all.
And it'll be a 6-2 win for Chuck Haas. And with the victory, Seton Hall leads Lehigh 19-18 with one bout to go. And it's going to be a senior and freshman on the mat. We'll be back with the final match in just a moment. We welcome you back to Grace Hall, Shel Siegel, Larry Sheridan, Marv Wilenzik, your hosts. Let's go over to Mike Caruso, who we will in just a few moments, because Mike will have Rick Hepp to talk to in just a few moments. And we'll try to do that at the conclusion here. So now it's a Lehigh freshman, Ron Edmond, on the mat. And he is from Newark, New Jersey, St. Benedict's Prep. And Seton Hall counters with a senior, Mark Whitford, from Staten Island, New York.
Who was the last St. Benedict's wrestler to grapple in Grace Hall?
Mike Caruso.
That's right. And there he sits down there watching the next St. Benny's wrestler. Obviously, the weight Advantage belongs to the Lehigh freshman.
I was going to say there'd be a weight differential between Caruso and Ron Edmond.
Rather set of powerful legs on Mr. Whitford, though. Tottenville High School in Staten Island.
Barry, stay in the circle. Stay in the circle.
He's obviously got a big weight advantage. We'll see if he's able to use it.
Well, it's senior versus freshman, too, so.
Son, don't push him out to the circle. Stay and wrestle right here. You're pushing him all the way to the other side. Right here.
Tolerant Mark Piven saying, look, you got to wrestle him in the center. You can't come at him like a drive block in football.
A 1-point lead for Seton Hall Pirates going into the 275-pound weight class.
Guys. John Morris must be somewhere thinking, why it comes down to the heavyweight match when it means something. I don't think he can lift him up, Larry. He's got a triple. He did. He's got two, and he's right there. Now, Larry, again, you explain. He takes him down. He gets the two. He's on his back, but he's not in a fitting position.
Precisely.
So it's off the mat and up.
Well, no, they stopped wrestling, and Mark said, keep wrestling, because the kids see the brown and they stop. That's like Pavlov's dog.
Could the Seton Hall wrestler have pressed the advantage to pin there as long as he's on?
Yeah. He could have brought him back on, taken him by the feet, brought him back on, and put him towards his back.
There's a lot of weight to handle here. Big boy's out. 2-1. The crowd rising to the occasion now. As Edmond. Ron Edmond of Lehigh. Rallying against Mark Whitford, the senior of Seton Hall. The match is on the line.
Got to do some diving, got to do some shooting.
19-18.
Because Mark Whitford is very fast.
It's a chance by Whitford. He stepped in. Oh, he rolled through.
Rolled right
through.
through.
Dangerous business here. Whitford took a chance with that deep step through, trying to back trip him. But the young freshman was not quick enough to realize what advantage he had when he rolled him to his back. Here we are.
Goes in, tries to lift it, trap back heel, but he missed it when he went to anchor it with that back heel trip. He's in deep this time, and he really has to anchor it with his right leg or go the other way, which he's doing. And putting Lehigh's Edmonds toward his back and pins him. And Seton Hall defeats Lehigh 25-18.
They're mobbing Coach Reynoso. They're mobbing Whitford.
And the pin did it. More pins tonight in a dual meet than I've seen in a long time.
And that one was really a shocker.
And Seton Hall,
let's take a look at it.
Only starting this wrestling tradition for themselves, wraps it up in a battle, and there it is. Their both shoulders are down. There's no question about the pin.
Absolutely not.
There's a little surprise on Edmonds and Lehigh, but Seton Hall, this is a great victory for them to come up here, wrestle Lehigh, a school steeped in tradition, and come off with a victory. And we talked about it earlier. Was Lehigh going to have a 500 season? They've got one big step to start.
And right down now, we're going to go down to Mike Caruso for our final interview. He's got Rick Hepp, who had a fall in his bout at 177 to bring Lehigh close. And Michael, words for you and Ron. Rick Hepp.
Well, Rick must be tough. Mixed feelings, huh? Losing the match, but you had a great night. Last year as a freshman, you wrestled a tough 1AA schedule, went to the Nationals. Do you think that helped you for upcoming year?
Oh, it definitely helped me in the experience, and it helped me with my confidence to know that I could compete with these type of athletes and to win and to succeed the way I did last year. It really helped my confidence greatly.
That's good. We're looking forward to a real good year from you, and best of luck in the coming months.
Okay, thank you. And Marvin, closing comments on today's match.
It was a very inspired Seton Hall team which came in here. I think they probably have been pointing to this match. As Saunders said, it's a major thing for them to wrestle Lehigh. And they aimed at it. And they came in aggressively and wrestled very hard going down the stretch. And I think Lehigh missed Dolly High. I think Lehigh had to adjust weights. And Seton Hall did a good coaching job, and they lost.
But Marv, at the last minute, Seton Hall weighed those guys down a weight class and decided to move them all up. So I think there was a little strategy strategy there on the coach's part.
Yes.
He moved his team up after weighing in one weight class less. So they moved up and beat Lehigh. So what would it have been like if they would have wrestled at the weights that they were listed? That would have been interesting. So the gamble paid off for the coach, and they come off the victor.
You said, Larry, although you didn't say it on television, we can say, you said that this team, is famous for their basketball prowess, but the fans are going to be in for a real shock tonight when they see how these kids wrestle, and you were exactly right. The final score, 25-18, Seton Hall winning. A lot of good bouts. We had 4 falls. I can't remember the last time we had 4 falls in dual matches. Lehigh had 2 of them, Tom Cook and Rick Hepp, and Seton Hall had bookends. They had them with Anthony Gencarelli at 118, and then at the top with Mark Whitford. Our next Channel 39 telecast will be tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, when we'll have the Sheridan Championship Finals of the Sheridan Invitational Tournament held this weekend at Stabler Arena. So we hope that you'll join us for that telecast when the best wrestlers will come your way tomorrow morning at 11 on Channel 39. So till then, this is Shel Siegel speaking for Larry Sheridan and Marvin Walenzik, saying so long from Grace Hall and the campus of Lehigh here in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.